Hello, Anna. How are you?
Hi, it's very good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
So I have not a lot of time when I can talk, and
I cannot hear you properly.
really
Maybe you can get close to the computer or something.
better now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told that I don't have a lot of time to talk to you, but on this time I want to ask you some questions. Question number one. I told last time they have this weird feelings. I don't know if I can describe it as feelings, like I don't perceive reality like before. It's different. It's completely different. Perception is different. So I feel like I'm in a dream. I'm still dreaming. I didn't wake up, and it's getting more intensive day by day. So the question is if it's okay.
Yes.
Already I have answer, it's okay. And will it go after with time, or I will stay this all the time like this? So I have to use this.
This is to wake up, realize that you are dreaming, that this is a dream.
I already realize it.
This is to wake
But
up.
yes. Okay. Okay, now I'm in dream. I have to wake up.
No. To know this is a dream is to wake up. Is to wake up from the idea that it is real. It is only a dream.
Yeah, I got it already. I already realized it with the consciousness, not with just my mind and body. I realize it, and
Sometimes it's a sweet dream. Sometimes it is a nightmare.
mhm. One more. Just a second. I put wire for my phone. Oops. Yeah. And my ego, my body, my mind is trying to catch me with traps, which I can now realize, and it's funny. Every time you can't hear me well.
Yeah.
Better.
Mhm.
Better now.
Yeah.
So
Not to make too much noise because I can't hear properly. Sorry. So, no, it's a little bit of noise in the house. So
okay. So anytime I catch that I'm started to think about something, it's funny. As I can describe it, I feel my thoughts and my body as a, let's say, computer program which has some application, like some patterns of behaviors with which I still have and had before, and they are, like appears, and it appears even faster and even more intensive. And now for me it's funny. Like I see it, these thoughts, sometimes I catch these feelings, I feel it. Like sometimes I'm angry, and the mind is playing these games. So I don't know if I have, it's just the description what's going on. It's normal, right?
Well, it is normal because when the mind knows that it has been caught, right, that it's going to, then it switches on kind of an emergency system. And it begins to bring to the surface all its weapons, which are its tendencies, in order to survive, right? And it can survive only if you give attention to it and if you give reality to it. Otherwise, they weaken. And when the mind is weak enough, because the mind collectively are all the tendencies too. See, the first tendency or the root tendency is the tendency to identify oneself with the body. And then any tendency is basically a trunk and branches and leaf of the same root tendency. In order to survive, he may play some funny games. We just have to ignore it completely.
Ignore. Okay.
It will do things. Actually, you might be able to see things within you that perhaps you didn't even know that it existed or that you remember. Emotions, feelings, thoughts, intentions, desires, dispositions, right?
So it might appear, okay.
Yeah. It might appear.
Might not, because already this, let's say, not superpowers, this esoterical stuff, which I didn't see before, but I know a lot about, I felt it, but I didn't see, like, started to appear, I told you last time, as physical, like, and for me, it's also like, okay, it's a game, like, come on, I don't
We don't need any of that. Or we don't need any of that or to use any of that. It's also habit.
Okay.
Because these powers are mental, see? So it is also...
Yeah, mental, I understand this, I got this. Even this, it's mental. Gods, angels, and everything.
I mean, they do exist. But only in the mind.
Only in the mind.
Any phenomenon is the mind, whether you consider physical, mental, energetic, angelic, demoniac, or this, that you are aware of is the mind, and is an illusion.
As well.
Yes.
Okay. Because all the time I'm talking to you in my head, like I'm talking to myself, I know, with consciousness, and anything I want to talk, I have an answer. I want to ask, I have an answer. It's so weird. Like now what I can do is just describe what's going on.
That's correct. See, normally we're used to hold on a second. He hasn't replied, love. Yes, the message are not even going through. Maybe you guys can go downstairs to see if he's there. Okay. Normally you see me outside of you, and then you're used to talk to me with Cesar, right?
Yes, the voice in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I think I'm talking to you, but I'm asking question. I'm asking something. I have reply, but the same moment understand that it's also mental games.
No, we may have questions, right? But the answer is really they are coming from inside. But some believe that the guru or the teacher is somebody outside, external. So the answer is here that this person is talking to you. But the answers are coming from within you. Also the questions. guys, please. So everything is coming from within. There is nothing coming from
Yeah.
outside. Even the outside is within. All phenomena exist within oneself. It is actually oneself too.
Mhm.
Phenomena is a illusory power manifested of oneself.
When you are talking about, I don't understand this word phenomena. You mean consciousness, or it's different? What is what? Describe me. What do you mean in this word?
Phenomena is
Using this word, yeah. Like in Russian, it's like phenomen. Phenomen is something like you don't understand what's going on. It's not in normal life. I mean,
phenomenon means anything that you can possibly be aware of, whether
okay.
physical, mental, energetic, or of any other kind.
Because for me, all real before. I mean, since I was young, this all phenomena, it's I feel it like reality.
No, but it's not real because see, how can it be? It appears and disappears. What is the world in deep sleep?
Yeah, now I got only like this. I can't describe it with this year anymore. One more question.
Yeah.
These weird feelings, which goes more intensive. This dream, which appears more intensive. So, I mean, when you feel enlightenment, it's like a flash, or it goes with the personality fades with time?
Well, it depends upon how strong are the tendencies. Normally, in the majority of the cases, there is a flash or a glimpse, right? There is a moment of clarity.
Yes, like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the tendencies are not completely destroyed, okay? Then you may come back.
Okay.
But the first glimpse helps you to become aware of the fact that the ego is back and that it actually doesn't exist. It is only thought.
Mm-hmm.
The ego appears to be a self, somebody, right? Thoughts give the impression that there is a person there, an individual there with characteristics and qualities and name and form and attributes and all that. It's just thought. When there is no thought, you don't know anything. The only thing that you know is that you are.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you know when there are no thought is I am. And it's not a thought. You don't think I am. You know you are. You know I am. I exist. See, you are conscious of being. Being what? Being. See, just being the being. Right? Being not as somebody, something. It's just being, existing, right? And that knowledge of existence itself is consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody conscious, not a being that is conscious, it's just conscious. There is consciousness of body, mind, whatever it is, right? But consciousness somehow is beyond all that. Right? It does not appear. It does not appear. It does not show up.
It exists all the time. Yeah, it just exists.
So again, mind may play only few cases like great sages like Ramana Maharshi or few others. Hold on a second. Okay. So only like great sages like Ramana Maharshi or few others where the ego disappeared once for all and never came back. That's very rare.
Okay.
That's very
Because I had sorry, interrupt you. I had a question about Ramana Maharshi because before I didn't know about enlightenment a lot, but when my sister showed me this, I got, okay, this is truth. And I didn't read Ramana Maharshi. I know nothing about this in yogis in Tibet or something. I don't know this information, and it was curious for me why enlightenment people are talking about Ramana Maharshi. So why he is so special? Because you are God, me are God, everything is consciousness. But why he is like people are talking about him? What is this special
Because
in him?
he resurrected this knowledge, so to speak. It was a little bit lost, and he brought it back.
Okay.
When he lost his ego, because we cannot say that we got enlightened. We don't get any. We cannot get what we are.
Mhm.
We lost.
Just for
Yeah, exactly. We lose the ego. So he lost the ego when he was between 14 and 16 years old. So he was a very pure being, right? And
okay.
the way he spoke was so simple, right? And his explanations were so simple, even though he read books, but the books didn't teach him anything. The books were just reflecting what he knew already. And he became very, 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 very famous. So there is a lot of, he influenced a lot of people, not only in India, but also in the West. So he became one of the most famous sages, if not the most famous sages in the 21st century, between the 20th and the 21st century. So his influence is huge, it's massive. This is why many people talk about him, even saints.
But you, as consciousness, percept him as yourself, right? Yeah, that was the question. Why he is, if we are all means all consciousness. Why it's this separate, more important, less important?
We must, normally when we are attracted to these sages, we must have been influenced by them at some stage of our life, this life or a previous one. Okay? So we find them familiar to us.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't know why. So there is a connection somehow with that being. For example, when I went to Maharshi Ashram for the first time in India, he was not alive, he was dead. But when I entered the ashram, okay, I felt like I knew the place. I felt like I was in the patio of my house. Like I'm going to, when you go to your grandmother's house, that it feels more your house than your own house.
You felt home.
Yeah, I felt home. And there was a black statue, still is a black statue of Ramana. And when I was standing in front of it, I just lost body consciousness. Right? And since then, I got a fascination about them. And even when I was having darshan by another sage in Puttaparthi and all that stuff, but somehow I got deeply attracted to this man till the point when I came back to Puttaparthi after that trip to Tiruvannamalai. I asked Baba, I want to know about this man. See, he is there, an avatar alive, but about this man. So also, most of the people that were with Baba, that were mature seekers, he will send them there to go there, right? And he will speak highly about him, right?
And Satya Sai Baba, he is enlightened, right?
Well, that's a very rare phenomenon. It's called avatar.
Avatar. Okay. And next question. I've heard this word avatar, but the next question: who is this avatar? What is the difference between enlightenment people and avatars?
No difference.
Avatar, like as I understood, Jesus Christ, he also was an avatar,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. There is no difference. The knowledge is the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that for some reason, consciousness manifests these particular beings. Okay.
Who are more attractive.
Yes, and they manifest certain attributes like the capacity to materialize things, to do miracles and all that.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
that realizes the self will perform miracles and will become so famous. And it's not absolutely necessary, right? Baba also attracts millions and millions and millions of people. It's also a big influence not only in India and the West. But the knowledge is the same, the realization is the same. He will say, for example, I am God, you too. I know it.
Yeah. This is
He say,
so the question is why he is more godder than I am. Yeah, this is like curiosity.
all this is ignorant people say that because,
Mm-hmm.
for example, Baba say, I am God, you too. I know it, you don't. That's the only difference between you and I. And I am here.
Yeah.
I am here basically to teach you this, to tell you this, right? So it is the mind that says this guru is better, this is higher, this is lower, this is more important, this is, and all that.
Yes. Yeah. My question was why enlightened people told that we are all same. I didn't. Now I got the idea. I understood it. Just for, let's say, for mental games again.
It was a misunderstanding, misinterpretation of the ego, right? That it makes its own conclusions and then it spread them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? The masters spoke about things very simple, okay? If you see the essence of every religion, it is the same. If you see the Islam, for example, it says Anul Haq. Anul Haq means I am that, see, or I am God.
Mm-hmm.
If you see, for example, Jehovah means I am, right? In Hinduism, it is Aham, see, I am, right? So the essence is the same, but unfortunately, those people that claim to be the custodians of the truth or the teachings of the masters, they distort it, right? And the only thing that they taught was their own misunderstanding, their own confusion. And they confused more those who were already confused, right?
Yeah, right.
Jesus also said, I am that I am. I am what God is. My Father and I are one. So it's basically the same teaching.
Yeah, different words.
And even this, for those who cannot grasp the simplicity of this knowledge, they created a variety of systems and gods and religions and practices, and which in reality they are not necessary because we shouldn't do anything to know what the truth is,
Yeah.
mentally or physically, right? It happens in reality by itself. So if I tell you that you are consciousness, and if you want to know that you are consciousness, you have to be still, not physically but mentally. How can you say that mentally still is doing something? Are you
One more time.
If I tell you, for example, you are consciousness. If you
Okay.
want to know your consciousness, you have to be still, not physically, but mentally.
Still, okay.
How can we call a practice to be still if the mind is not practicing, not moving, not doing anything? Can you see that?
No. I don't.
See the contradiction. When you practice mentally, right?
Yes, this is it.
So the mind.
I can't describe because any practice is mental game again.
Correct. Correct. But people cannot be mentally still straight away because they have too much knowledge. They have too many tendencies, too many predispositions, too many desires. Difficult for them to be mentally still. So these practices are just to help the mind to calm down a little bit. But they are limited. They have an expiring date. They may help for some time.
I've tried some of this.
Who is the practicer? That's the question. If we see, yeah, if you see this I, it disappears. If you see who is this I, you will find that it doesn't exist. It's only a thought. I, you just said it, no? Me. That's a thought. And that thought means body, me. See, me means body. I means body. So this I is a thought. It's called the I thought, or I am the body idea, right? You remind me when I was in India or on my past, because somehow I had glimpses and I got the knowledge after.
What is this glimpses? Like flashes? Like
clarity or moment of when it becomes obvious that what we are is.
consciousness.
Yes.
Okay, glimpses. I didn't know this word. That's why I'm asking.
We have a tendency to forget. We may have these clarity, moments of clarity along our life, but because we got again involved in the world, the society, the family, and all that, we forget it. We get trapped again, giving reality to it. But everybody knows it. Everybody knows I am. Everybody knows I exist. It is just they confuse I with the body. That's all. But even this knowledge I am, I exist, it is already consciousness. It is only covered by a thought. See? I am is covered by the thought body. See, I am the body. The consciousness, once reality, gets clouded, covered, veiled by a thought, the thought I. Or one can say the I consciousness is veiled by the I thought. If that I thought disappears, or even if you see that, if you get to see it, how can it be me if I see it? How can it be?
I already, yes, got this. I got this.
Now, why people say this and that? Let them say whatever they want. We can't help it. Right? Out of confusion or ignorance, can't blame them neither. They are exactly where they are meant to be, doing what they are meant to be. Everything disappears in deep sleep. I don't disappear because I must be present, knowing that everything disappears. Right? Right?
Right.
You have deep sleep when there are no dreams, there is nothing. Then you have the dream state when there are dreams and images and another body or the same body with another life, and right, the mind is still playing. And awakening state, this one, right? And they alternate each other. See, 1, 2, 3. See, there are 3 mental states, right? They alternate each other and they contradict each other. But there is one consciousness, right? Aware of this 3 states of mind. This is all mind. This is collectively the mind, collectively an illusion, right? So we begin to become aware that what we really are is this. We are also this, but not only this, and not limited to this, right? They are not, this is the truth. They are not two. That's the meaning of Advaita. Advaita Vedanta, or not two, or non-duality. See, they are not two.
Mhm.
If the mind gives impression that the world is a separate entity, that all what we experience is outside of ourselves. It's an object
Mhm.
out there, separate from me, different from me, and so on. It's this idea that disappears. The idea of separation, duality.
Is it okay if I think that this idea already gone, but this is also an idea that it's gone? I mean, I understand the concept and I feel it. I feel it like it's the only truth. But
We can fool anybody, but we cannot fool oneself.
Mhm.
We only we know really if I am fully convinced that I am consciousness, even though for the practicality of daily life, you might have to refer yourself as the body, but without identifying yourself with it. Like an actress, so you're playing a role, you're playing Cleopatra, they say, I am Cleopatra, but you know that you are not Cleopatra, you know that you are Anna, right?
Mhm.
So for the practicality of daily life, you may refer to yourself as being the body, having a name and form and all that.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
So only you know is you are no longer forgetting that you are consciousness.
Mhm.
And as I said before, what happened, Baba? You got trapped in the elevator. Were you jumping or playing any buttons? No. No, it just happened by itself. How did you come out of that? Ken? Oh, Jesus, I must have been kidding. The light went off? Uh-oh. It's just the boy got trapped in the elevator. Nancy, can you bring my battery charger? Yeah, for the new phone. Ay, que Indre se quedó atrapado en el ascensor y lo sacaron. So, as I said before, many people go back to body identity. But they know they got back to body identity. And when they see they're back in body identity, they are back again automatically in no body identity. You notice it, right? So the ego.
But this is not enlightenment, right? Because as I understood, as I feel, enlightenment when you don't separate this consciousness and the body identity.
Let's say, for instance, that let's use two concepts, right? Enlightenment and realization. To realize is to become aware, to know something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may know that you are consciousness, you might forget. When you no longer forget, you call that enlightenment.
Okay.
Right? So we have glimpses. Glimpses means period of time when it is clear that I am consciousness. And you go along, the body goes on doing its activities. If you need the mind to solve a problem or something, you use it, but you know that you are consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. This is my identity with the body and the mind, or as the body and the mind. You can be one day, 1 year, but suddenly, see, some tendencies may come up, something may come up, and the ego can bounce back, right? But it is easy to catch now. And as soon as you catch the ego is gone. In the same way, as soon as you hear that there is a thief in the house, and the thief knows that you know that the thief is in the house, the thief runs away. So it is the mind. When you see the intruder, it goes away. The mind cannot survive if it is seen for what it is, not I. It's just imposing that thought on oneself.
Yeah, now when I even pronounce in my mind I, the second question, who is this I?
Exactly. So there must be something in you.
Who is asking? Who is telling? Who is feeling this? Who?
Yes. It begins to happen spontaneously, right? Then
Mhm.
becomes spontaneous. There is no unconscious. So you find yourself inquiry. You don't have to deliberately do it.
Yeah, without any force.
Right.
Just
The moment comes, you don't even have to write the question. It's that you see who is this I. It's not even it doesn't go through an intellectual process that
Mhm.
becomes a question, who is this I? It's like a curiosity. Like, what is that? And as soon as you inquire, it disappears. You can't survive the light of inquiry or observation, right?
Mhm.
No thought can survive the light of being observed. If the thought survives being observed, it's because it is the mind that is observing the mind. Right? If the mind is observing the mind doesn't stop.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I have to go now.
Yeah, you gotta work.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime. Okay. Bernie. What a nice surprise.
Yeah, I just felt I really wanted to speak to you this evening. I don't know.
What?
I just felt I really wanted to speak to you this evening. It's been a while since we spoke.
There is a lot of echo.
Oh shit! I don't know. Nothing I can do about that.
Okay, let's try.
When you were speaking to the last lady, you were talking about how things that were repressed that you didn't even know were there can start to come out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that has been happening for the last maybe 6 to 8 months with like the really bottom of the base things I had no idea were in there. But it somehow it feels like it's good that they're coming out. There's no conflict with it or anything.
Yes.
Doesn't feel like something's gone wrong, but like there's been a lot of repression, and I can see how even the inquiry was reinforcing that repression at times, with the way it was done.
I'm struggling to listen because there is a kind of an echo or something, and then I miss a lot of what you say.
It probably doesn't matter anyway.
You have earphones.
Huh?
You have earphones that
Earphones.
yeah.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that will most surely improve the quality of the sound. Now, can you plug this? No, there's no plug here. I'm using for the computer. Just plug it there. I'm not using it now. Thank you. Let's say something.
Something?
Oh, much better. Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, you sound different too. So did you catch anything of what I said, or should I start again?
A lot of the stuff showing up, coming up, surfacing, right?
Yeah, things deeply, deeply repressed that I had no idea. Like really, really, yeah.
Buried at
Um,
consciousness, yeah.
hmm?
They were buried at the bottom of the subconsciousness.
Yes, and the bottom of the body.
Oh.
So they were, yeah. No.
The body doesn't carry anything.
It seems to appear that way though, right? Because when what's been happening is when it's coming out, I feel it in the body. So I guess it's reflected there, right?
It's reflected there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like an image is reflected on the mirror, but in reality it's not in the, is it in the mirror? Or is reflected in the mirror? So the mind is reflected in the brain. It's basically neuron activity.
Mm.
Why it appears to be here upstairs on the roof, on the attic, in the brain, right?
Mm.
The body does not think. The body is a receptor of thoughts.
Yeah, yes. But it's like they're experienced in the body. That's how, you know, so with language, yeah.
This is why they produce an impact in the body, emotions, feelings, the fear, the anger, the anxiety, the I don't know, the excitement, right? The expectation.
Yeah.
All these are felt in the body and it's the byproduct of thought. It reaches through the brain, travels through the nervous system, and then it gets spread out all over the body, right? In the stomach, you know, like the fear, or in the knees, or the anxiety in the chest, or whatever, right?
So then, but it does give the impression that, say, like there can be knots of energy like that are frozen. So it's like crystallized. It feels like they're crystallized in the body, and then when they're coming to the surface, it gives the experience that they're coming out. So that's how I've been experiencing it.
The mind creates the body.
Yeah. Okay.
The mind is the body is a thought. See, even perceptions are thoughts. What we call mind, just for the sake of communication and to make it more simple, people believe that mind is only thought.
No.
But mind is
the whole thing.
The whole thing. Perceptions, energy, right? A perception, which is, let's call the material stuff, right? Or the gross stuff, is also is a gross aspect of the mind. And what we call ego, okay, the thought I, and all together the intellect, the memories, the tendencies, the knowledge, this is the subtle body, because you can't touch it, right? And yet it is there. It's an object.
Yeah.
It's material, but very subtle. And there is an energy there that caused both subtle and gross body to appear.
Yeah.
But all that, they are not three.
No. Yeah.
Subtle, causal, right? Of the effect, which is the movement of the cause produces the effect of the appearance of the body and the mind. But all that collectively is mind, right? This is why this is called a mental state, awakened state, deep sleep state. These are mental state, and it is the mind all together.
Yeah.
And the self is consciousness, that which is conscious, the very consciousness of the mind. So why the mind appears to be conscious? Because it's identical, right? The mind is conscious of itself, but it's conscious of other things as separate from itself. Okay? If I identify myself with the body appears to be I, anything that I perceive is outside of myself. Okay? It's a separate entity, subject separate from the object, right? So it is the mind that is producing everything else. It was in a latent state, and now it becomes manifested. So the body doesn't produce anything. The body is the effect.
Yeah, okay.
Thoughts or ego is the effect. The cause is this undifferentiated energy or
Yeah.
yeah.
I can feel that it's not like all of those things that you're describing. I can sense and feel all of it.
Good.
But it doesn't feel there's anything gone wrong like with this, that like it doesn't feel like it's a game. It feels like it's literally just coming out. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it is, as you say, it's something good. Many people experience that or translates that as something negative. Or a sign of I am not progressing, I'm going backwards, it's getting worse. But on the contrary, if you are constipated, right, and you finally can get rid of all that inside of you, it's a good sign, it's a good thing, right? Otherwise, you're right, by your own crap.
Absolutely. And I can see the effect of how even they disguise themselves in the understanding. So it's like it's so subtle. And how it directs the body. Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah.
The mind conditions the behavior of the body. So the minds are the patterns of behavior that condition activities of the body. Right? Because if you thought I want to go there, the feet will follow. But the thought is prior to the movement, right? Or I don't want to go there. See your preferences, your likes and dislikes and prejudices, all that is what is.
I mean, even holding out like half of the world out of like thinking I'm being quiet. It was pure avoidance. It wasn't actually the real quietness. At some point it was, but in other points it's just there's so many deceits. Like,
well, the mind is very clever and pretends to, but the relative consciousness, the individual consciousness, pretends to be act as if it is the absolute consciousness. I'm just witnessing and I'm unaffected and blah blah blah, and it's just repressing a whole bunch of things. Yes.
Yeah, and I just when I almost got sick when I saw how much was repressed.
The absolute
oh my God.
The absolute consciousness does not pretend to be it's effortless.
How could it need to be?
It doesn't try to be conscious. Consciousness is just consciousness. It's effortless. One of the description, it is effortless. It doesn't make an effort to be consciousness. It's just there, and it haven't said a word ever. It's just absolute silence. Now, when you see yourself in the mirror, what do you see? You see nothing but yourself. The both are I, the reflection, and the body is seeing it, right? Both is I am both. So we are also but when we realize that we are consciousness, you cannot call the mind ego anymore because it is I. And the body is I, and the world is I, and everything is I. See, I alone am. This is why I keep on saying you never chant victory, never. Because you don't know where the rabbit will jump again.
Oh my God.
And without even noticing, you are trapped in another room of the same house. All that has to go. Otherwise, the knowledge of being consciousness doesn't become irreversible. See, that we are fully established in that. We can be wrong by thoughts and tendency without even noticing. Everything is one. And this is just happening and bloody, bloody, blah, right? And we keep on putting ourselves in troubles. Even the troubles that we may find ourselves in the present is because of one's stupidity from the past. You see why there is no choice, right?
No.
So when the mind subsides, right, then everything subsides. And then you have your moment of clarity, right? One day, 1 week, 1 month, I don't know. Then suddenly it's back. And something outside wakes up what is dormant inside.
Yeah, that's it. And because I was being quiet at home and not taking part, that wasn't getting a chance to happen. So in moving a little bit more outward, actually, it's really good because the things I was avoiding has been helping that to happen
Even
way faster.
the good tendencies, the spiritual one,
Yeah. That's what I was talking about when I said about the hijack. It's like, oh, I'm nearly getting sick even thinking now. It's like, ugh.
even the thought of God.
It's
Or
not real.
yeah, all the ashram, or the spiritual places, or the spiritual people, or the spiritual groups, and the practice, and the nothing. All that, the secular life is completely destroyed.
Yeah.
It's just
And
life.
actually,
It's just life, and life is perceived as a totality. Because it's no longer my life. It's just life. So your friends are you, your enemies are you. Everything is you, the good, the bad, the whole story. And you act accordingly. You can't help it because you will do it. Because the body came here to do something. It's going to happen anyway. Only the identity with it disappears. And then you are not affected. Can avoid anything.
it's always waiting there.
If you can always discriminate between what happens, whatever it is, and the one that knows it, who am I? Between the real and the unreal, see? Between the seer and the seeing, who am I? Ooh, you can see yourself having thoughts and intentions, and you say, oh my God, I can't believe that I can feel this, feel like doing this. Me being, how can I have such a right? I just want to read someone else's head from the shoulders. I see
Yeah.
I'm doing it in my head. And it's
Yeah.
oh, the rage
Yeah.
or the jealousy or the pride or the
Yeah.
or any other
All of it.
or
Yeah.
myself to be a guru, an enlightened being, a guiding, or
Yeah.
any thought about oneself. It's the same thought I, right? And any other thought is the same thought I. So there are not many thoughts. It's only one. All thoughts are the thought I. All the tendencies are the root tendency. See, the tendency to believe oneself to be limited to the body. And then another trap is like, oh my God, I'm thinking this. Oh my, they become neutral. All that becomes neutral. Is you don't touch it. Is you don't identify yourself with, oh my God, I'm having such a thought. Even if you follow the thought, oh my God, the consequences. Once there is a glimpse and a recognition, all that is wiped out. See, all that becomes neutralized. It has no effect anymore. Then any thought can arise. It doesn't matter any longer the quantity or the quality. They come and they go.
Mm.
And they stop controlling the behavior of the body. See, the body will not be influenced by such thoughts. The body will not follow. Right?
Yeah, no, I can't.
I can be with a friend having a cup of coffee, and suddenly my friend says something, I just want to take the knife and stab it in the neck. Right? But it just doesn't happen. Right? It doesn't happen. Hmm?
Yeah.
That's to say, I'm not going for a coffee.
Tell her she's not invited. Oh, I'm only joking. Yeah, no, anger was really, really repressed, and the other was sexuality. That was really, really, and it was all because of trauma.
Yeah.
And after Venezuela, that started to wake up, but there was so many things hidden. Yeah.
And everything begins to fall in its place.
Yeah, it's like reordering, like
It has a completely different quality.
that's the thing, because I heard you speak the other week to somebody and you said, oh, you know, the sexual desire has to go. And in that moment, it felt that's not right for here, because actually that has to come into balance. Because I could have taken that and repressed again. So it's just listening. Yeah.
You understand what desire means?
That's changing.
Changes, because it is no longer.
Yeah.
It's no longer for self-satisfaction, and that self is the mind.
Yeah.
So
No, it's like more kind of an expression that's starting to. It's not all in balance, but it's coming.
Not exploiting anything or anyone for my benefit. See?
No, that's not possible.
You can't.
No.
You can't do it.
No.
Can't do it anymore. The other one is yourself. And you see it as yourself. And it has a complete different quality. It's even more beautiful and more intense if you wish, right? I'm not using someone else as a pleasure tool. See, I'm not using somebody like a sex toy. I'm satisfied and I'm not that person anymore. If you're hungry, you figure out your. Honestly, you are
Well,
there
was more. There was a fear of that energy because it had been abused rather than it going the other way. So it's kind of the other, but it's kind of, you see both sides.
So this means I can't stop thinking about something or someone, okay, until I get it, right? Believing that my happiness is based on achievement or whatever it is, a person or whatever, it can be anything, right? So it's all about me. Vasishta, all these sages, actually, the celibate sages is a new fashion. In the past, most of them they were married, having children, normal life.
That feels more true because, or it feels more natural or something. I don't know.
But Ramana was different. He was 14 years old. Everything was gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely different. Yeah.
Now, if that wears off by itself, okay, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Because of age, because of many reasons can be there.
Sure.
That's a different story. But if you control it, you spoil it.
Yeah, no, it was completely pushed down.
Ramana says the sex is not an obstacle. See? There is no sex in the self. Be the self and you will have no sexual issues. If it is meant to happen, it will happen.
Yeah, yeah.
If it is not going to happen, it will not happen. But when it's not happen, then we are looking for it to happen, right? Because I have the idea that it has to happen, right? And I'm trying to satisfy an idea, a desire.
Well, I was trying to stop it from happening. It was the opposite.
You can't. Who is
No.
the doer and the non-doer?
No, there was a mechanism there as well.
Only repressive mechanism.
Yeah. Very, 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 very sneaky and very, very strong. But also was needed for safety at some point. So it's not even bad. It's like,
For safety of whom? Of the ego. It was a self-defense mechanism of the ego.
yeah, but it came from trauma. So it's, you know, yeah. I can't even make it wrong.
It's all about the idea.
Mm.
Right? So what I want to satisfy is the concept. I want to fulfill that idea. I want to materialize.
Yeah.
Why? Because my sense of self, my identity will be based on that, right?
Mm.
The idea of being a great lover or something, right? And then you have to train yourself to become that. And then you become that. It's about becoming.
Yeah, and it's not real. It's not the thing. It's, yeah, the idea is very different.
And in terms of relationships, you spend 24 hours a day with that person. For how long can you have sex? If you are lucky and fit, 1 hour, right? Out of 24 hours, there is a small fraction, but then life becomes all about that hour, right? And I want to make sure that I can prolong that hour, okay? Or to have 3-4 hours during the 24 hours. See, life becomes about that. It's the idea of relation, which is completely distorted by a concept of sex.
Yeah.
Okay?
And many other things. Yeah.
Let us love or passion or whatever it is.
Mm.
And during the day, there are many things. See? It's like a teamwork. No, hold on a second. Sorry. So,
Yeah, that's all.
we can see that. That's the whole point.
Mm.
This is the I that we are inquiring about. Right? Who is this I? Right? So you can see that this I is not I. It's mind. That contain within itself all this knowledge and concepts and ideas and desires and predisposition or tendencies or whatever it is. Now, how, what is the inquiry? Let's quote Ramana Maharshi, right? He said, "Let the thought arise." See, he didn't say control it, repress it, prevent it.
Mm.
Let the thought arise. Just don't follow it. And then diligently inquire, see, to whom the thought arise, or from where the thought arose.
Yeah.
Not have a source, right? Because they might arise from somewhere. So he said, let the thought arise.
Yeah, you see, now that's different because the repression is more conscious, whereas before that was happening, there was no awareness of that. And it was, yeah, so it's different now.
How can I get rid of something that I cannot see? See, sir, please throw the,
Yeah.
it is the rubbish. Like I see not, right? So I have to see and then get rid of it.
Yeah.
Last year, the game is at 4 p.m. Ah, okay. But he can leave in he can leave in half an hour. The game is at 4 p.m. Yes. The tournament is at 4 p.m. No, it's at 4 p.m. I talked to Wilfredo yesterday, he said 4 p.m. today. If she goes now, it's gonna be too early, and it's gonna stay alone there in the shopping mall. Okay. So let the thought arise. Don't follow it, but inquire. To whom this thought pertain, right? Or from where this thought arises. Which is not actually a question. Means instead of putting attention to the thought, put attention in its source, which is no other than oneself. And we find oneself to be the source of consciousness. That conscious existence that doesn't say I, and yet is I. And then the mind begins to function in a complete different way. Selflessly. Spontaneous. No expectations. No agenda. No concern about how it's going to be the result of this action. Unconditional mind or conditioned mind, right? Which you no longer can call mind because it will not be perceived as a separate entity. Neither the mind, nor the body, nor the world, or whatever it is. So to keep the mind quiet, people believe there is this. Let the thought arise and bring it back to its source. This is to keep it quiet. The hold on to the self is not, means every time you are not holding on to yourself because you are holding on to a thought, then hold yourself back. See, bring the attention back. Otherwise, the inquiry turns into another form of repression or control. Hold on to this doesn't mean I have it, that's it, I don't have to, that's it. I am already self-aware. When I let go of this, right, because I grab something else, so I let go of that and grab this again. This is the mind will make up its own interpretation of this knowledge. And I will use it for its benefits. You will.
Yeah. Mental projections in the future, positive, negative, horribles. Oh, Jesus, about me, about something else, the world. Oh, Jesus Christ, right? It's mental, it's projecting itself in the future. And that projection has to be based on a preconception. See, it must be preconceived, right? Because I cannot project into the future something that I don't even know. So only the known is projected in the future, either positively or negatively. See, I become very positive. See, I am very that this is going to happen, right? Or I not going to happen, right? Whether this is positive or negative. It's a mental projection. Right? It's all thought. And these thoughts appears to be me. And sadly, we become what we think. Including an enlightened being.
It's stupid. I am enlightened. I
Mhm.
am enlightened. It means absolutely nothing. I am realized. I am not realized. This is the same. It's the same thought I. Okay, that attached to it, realize, not realize. And the repression is more easy to fall in the repression of thought when the thoughts are nasty.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that image.
yeah.
No, I want it to go. I don't want it to see it again. Then we repress. And by doing so, strengthen it.
Yeah.
And it comes back and hits you harder.
Mhm.
And it goes on and on and on. I mean, some predispositions or some self-images may be quite strong. They may not go away once for all, but it can become weaker. See, it can weak
Yeah,
much of myself in the future, especially, or about the past, because I can hold on to the past, right?
yeah.
Oh, what I did, oh, so bad. I'm such a bad person. I deserve punished. I deserve, this is all thoughts
Mhm.
that begins with the thought I. And I obviously has to mean body. What I did to myself, to the others, right? This is only one advice. That's all what needs to be done.
Mhm.
See, to bring the mind back to its source. Meaning by mind thought. That's all. No different than to keep the mind still. Not force it to be still, but when it gets active, bring it back to stillness. Now, if your eye shoot down by itself, fine. Otherwise, don't fall in the trap of meditation. This is not meditation. This is investigation. Now, if by itself they shoot down, that's a different story.
Yeah.
You may fall into samadhi, but that's not nirvikalpa, meaning by that you may lose body consciousness, but it doesn't help, right? Because the tendencies cannot surface,
Yeah.
right? And you may be 2,000 years like that. When you wake up, the
What's the point?
bees are already in the nest.
Yeah.
Still they are there.
I can see even now there's just still a slight like holding. It's like there's a fear of completely letting go.
Yeah, also if you close your eyes, see, then we may be trapped in another phenomenon, which is darkness. Or a blank, right? Then I forget again myself as the very consciousness.
I see. Yeah.
The attention may fall into something again. It is no longer on oneself.
Yeah, I see there's also those big kind of energy movements that can happen.
Yes.
And then there's a fear sometimes of them that it's too much or too wild. But that's just coming from, it's like coming from inside itself.
As a mind is measuring
Yeah.
that this is too much.
Hmm.
Or either this is too much, or there is too little, or no energy at all.
No, it's like it's going to be too wild.
It's the mind will never be happy because either too much or what's going on. Let me rise the energy up, right? So energy tries to bring more energy than the energy that already exists. Yeah, something from within. It's like the life force.
Yeah, there's something very primal. It's like different to before.
Call it Shakti, call it Kundalini, call it undifferentiated potential creative energy, call it energy only, call it illusory power, imaginary power. This is the power of the self. That's the animating force, right? It is also unmanifest. It doesn't appear. That's pure potentiality. That itself is infinite amount of possibilities that exist in a latent or potential state. And then what we call world is a tiny little bit of that manifest. Okay? In a potential state is vibrating in its highest speed, right? And it's like a little bit of, see, it's enough from it, but it still is not separated. It's like a flames of fire. See, like flares. I call flares.
Yeah.
Right? And then the speed is slowed down. And it's like it's suspended. It appears to be material. It's what we call the objective reality, which is materialized energy, right? That's what we call matter. And the mind also is the same. See? The material one and the subtle one. And here is the massive consciousness is not doing anything. One can say all this is because of the will of consciousness. Consciousness doesn't even know what will actually is. It doesn't know anything. It just is. Consciousness is responsible for the appearance. Consciousness, because this power is inseparable from consciousness. Therefore, it is also consciousness. Then it is said that consciousness is, look, I don't know if you was there when I read this too. I think it was to Terry. See, the vital force that is in man is also known as consciousness. This consciousness is the relative one, right? To merge this consciousness in the universal consciousness means the absolute one has been described as liberation. Is that energy that creates the idea that it exists separate from its source. This is why when the mind is taught, the mind merges into that potentiality. And this is why we begin to feel that life force within, that energy. See, when Kundalini begins to get revealed. Or Shakti, call it whatever you like. And we feel, oh my God, this is going to blow me up. It's going to
Yeah.
It's massive. I mean, it's a very energy that is shining the sun. Hello. And it's contained within you. So the thought that crosses that energy becomes materialized.
Yeah.
I remember Ramakrishna Paramahansa, especially after enlightenment, he said, be careful with what you think because it might happen. Because you become more single-minded, see, one-pointed. So if you have so much stuff in your head, that energy gets spread into all that, hardly something will happen. It's just thought. If it is a one single thing, then it goes there. What is this life all about? But the me and all what the me is all about, see, melts away into that. Because it is necessary for the practicality of daily life. It may arise again, but it has a complete different quality. It is no longer a personal movement. Mind turns into an impersonal function. It's merely for the practicality of whatever it is, no expectations. Good. I noticed something there, but I had to wait for you.
Yeah.
To come out. Yeah. I could hear the noise.
Ah,
Hear the noises in the closet.
yeah, yeah.
I was waiting for you to come out.
I think somehow it seemed like they needed to start coming out themselves before I could even. There was no movement to speak to you until it was like it just seemed like it was coming out, and I felt like it was okay to just let that happen. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that was just, yeah.
See, I remember Ramana saying once at least, okay, why if the mind doesn't stop? Because of the rahasic qualities that are manifesting at this moment, right?
Mm.
Doesn't matter. That mind must be happening on a substratum. Then look at the substratum.
Mm.
And then the mind is neutralized, see? And it will get exhausted by its own movement, by its own inertia, like a fan, right? If you remove the tension from the mind, it's like switching off the fan. The fan keeps on moving, right? But it has no more,
Mm.
and it's bound to slow down and to stop.
Thank you. Mm.
Well, when are you coming?
I have no idea. We
Oh.
have to see how things pan out here, but I will come at some point.
Let's see if we can have a video chat one of these days on WhatsApp or something.
Sure. Yeah. It's great to see you anyway. I'm really happy I spoke to you.
Looking forward. I've been quite busy, so I have my own ordeal here to deal with. So
I can imagine. Yeah.
okay, let's see somebody from the Spanish community.
Thank you.
¿Alguna pregunta? Quedan 20 minutos. No sé si me falta algún. No he visto a Lawrence. Creo que no vino hoy, ¿no? Ciento dos personas. Wow. Laura tampoco, creo que. Also, when the attention is on oneself, no more effort is required. This, what is called samadhi, which is compulsory, okay, for self-knowledge, right? Remember, one is by the means of effort, but then there is no effort. The attention is on oneself effortlessly. Then the body can see it move here, there, look here and there. Leave the body alone. But this non-effort state, see, is temporary because the tendencies are not completely destroyed. And then the ego bounces back, and then you have to go again, inquiry, which is the deliberated actions to look at oneself. Then there is no more deliberated effort. Attention is already resting on oneself. Leave it. Ultimately, it rests on oneself effortlessly, permanently. It's called saha, natural state and so on. We have no thought to get rid of. They have no job to do. Leave it. Let the mind to. Otherwise, the effort in that state will become, first, it's a contradiction, right? And it's counterproductive. The moment comes that we cannot even stand the inquiry. We can't help it. This is this absolute surrender. Now again, is by itself. The body becomes standstill, like a rock. right? That's a different story. But we shouldn't look for that. So we are not interested that the body remains still, eyes closed, parallel. I'm not interested in the body and its activities and mind. Then you will see how smooth body activity is. And spontaneous. You don't know what's going on ever. Right? You don't know why the body is looking here and there doing this. It's just becomes very light. No hay preguntas del grupo de habla hispana. Tienen unos 10 minuticos nada más. What is it? Luciana entró, no la he visto. En mi computadora, el programa está programado para ver solamente en la pantallita los que tienen la cámara prendida. Irse.
Hola César, buenas tardes.
¿No?
Una pregunta muy breve. De estos roces con la religión que he tenido, siempre quedan algunas frases, ¿no? Y a la luz de la no dualidad, ¿no? Parece ser que en algún momento Jesús dijo, Señor, perdónalos porque no saben lo que hacen. Si solo hay uno, ¿cómo se interpreta eso?
Y los dos son uno, la misma cosa. Que el aparente segundo, porque es una apariencia, una aparición en la conciencia,
Ujú.
que la apariencia es inseparable de la fuente de donde surgió.
Oh, ya está. Muchísimas gracias.
Parece que hay uno que se rinde ante el otro,
Ujú.
pero el uno que se rinde ante el otro es el otro,
Ujú.
no dualidad. Sí, yo soy eso.
Hay algo que viene a mí a la mente en relación a lo que has dicho, porque hablas de no se rinde al ego, si no se rinde el ego, ¿cómo es? Porque a veces me confundo y me entrampo en esa expresión.
Uno cree ser el ego. Entonces, mientras uno crea que es el ego, entonces uno como ego se rinde. Rendirse es que
Mm,
no sé nada, no sé, no quiero nada, no entiendo nada. ¿Sí? El ego reconoce, por decirlo de alguna manera, su limitación. ¿Mm?
ujú,
Su no independencia.
ujú.
Reconoce que y todos los esfuerzos para realizar el ser simplemente han sido inútiles, porque todo lo que ha hecho no le ha servido para nada, solamente para crearle frustración y cansancio.
Ujú.
Entonces se rinde,
Se rinde él.
queda quieto,
Ajá.
mente se queda quieta. Cuando la mente se queda quieta, entonces uno se da cuenta de que uno también es aquello a lo que uno se está rindiendo. Como me dijo el señor Ratanlal, tus últimas tres preguntas aparecen en el libro también.
Ujú.
Me dijo a mí nada más, pero a mí personalmente me lo dijo, por decirlo de alguna manera, personalmente.
Ujú.
¿Quién es el instrumento de quién? ¿Quién se rinde ante quién? ¿Quién indaga y para qué?
Ujú.
Uno es los dos, la realidad y la ilusión. Y
Ujú.
tengo que decir los dos porque tengo que referirme a ellos de esa forma, sino como no,
Ujú.
la ilusión y la realidad. No solamente quiere ser la ilusión.
Entonces, la unidad es cuando yo digo, se rinde el ego, pero el ego no tiene ninguna autonomía o libre albedrío para rendir.
Cuando el ego se rinde, se hace obvio que el ego que se rinde nunca existió. El ejemplo de la escuela zoroastriana, ¿verdad? Dice, primero, ellos son adoradores del fuego. En el altar tienen el fuego, la flama,
Ujú.
que significa luz. Sin luz no puedes ver, sin conciencia nada puede ser. ¿Vale? O sea, ese fuego representa la conciencia, no una luz física o espiritual. Entonces, primero dijo, yo vengo de la luz. ¿Mm? Después dice, la luz está en mí, si está más cerca.
Ujú.
Y después dice, yo soy la luz. ¿Mm?
Ujú. Entiendo, encaja con varias cosas que he dicho antes.
Yo vengo de Dios, Dios está dentro de mí y eventualmente yo soy Dios.
Claro. Y en esa transición, por ejemplo, Jesucristo, si es que dijo lo que dijo, yo y el Padre somos uno.
Y yo digo yo soy César, ¿sí? No hay un yo que diga que es César, sino hay el yo que dice que es César y César.
Pues, en el lenguaje lógico creo que es una verdad.
Mm.
No sé si le llaman tautología, pero no.
Y por eso la importancia,
Déjala ahí, déjala ahí.
entiendo simple, sí, tanto concepto lo que hace que lo enreda todo.
No, está bien. Borremos la palabra. Le vamos a decir al editor que lo borre.
Funciona, funciona.
Sí. pues, No que hay ese pegosteo a veces, ¿no? De la mente de querer agarrarse a los conceptos, ¿no? Sí.
Porque la mente es un concepto que sobrevive alimentándose de conceptos que ella misma crea. Si ella produce su propio alimento, si se retroalimenta.
Ujú.
Conceptuando,
Sí, sí.
pensando.
Ujú. Suficiente como para ir al almuerzo. Sí, sí.
En práctica eso es todo. Pero
Ujú.
digamos que es una herramienta, no es una entidad como tal, que es lo que la mente pareciera ser. Pareciera ser un ente, alguien. Pareciera que la mente da la impresión de que hay alguien de verdad ahí.
Ujú. Muy realista.
No hay nadie.
Ujú.
La ciencia piensa que la mente está en el cerebro o que es el cerebro. Y cuando el cuerpo muere, ¿dónde está la mente?
Sí, pues. Seguir en el juego de la mente es como alguien dijo, es seguir moviendo los muebles de la casa de un lugar a otro.
Toda esa cantidad de conocimiento eventualmente produce simplemente mareo. Y cuando
Yo
veo,
diría que sí.
cuando me doy cuenta que lo que produce es mareo, me bajo de ese barco.
Ujú.
Cada vez que me monto en este barco me mareo. Yo mejor me quedo aquí en tierra y dejo que ese barco se vaya bien lejos de aquí.
Ujú.
Igual que los esfuerzos. Los esfuerzos me llevan a la conclusión de que producen solamente agotamiento, que no me llevan a ningún lado, que por lo tanto son futiles. Entonces cesa el esfuerzo mental,
Mm, ujú.
actual,
Sí.
la mente se queda quieta.
Ujú.
Desaparece en su fuente. Hay que olvidarlo todo, sí.
Mm,
Sí, bueno, yo le doy suponte que lo he explicado en otras oportunidades, igual tengo el libro aquí en la mano, ¿verdad?
ujú.
Y este libro me dice, solo el ser es, quédate quieto y realízalo. Entonces yo cierro el libro, sí, gracias libro, y ya no me hace falta porque ya me dijo lo que necesito saber. Quédate quieto y sabe que eres eso. Llámalo conciencia, llámalo absoluto, llámalo Dios, llámalo yo, llámalo.
Mm.
Yo prefiero llamarlo yo porque es lo que uno es. Entonces me di cuenta que volver al conocimiento es una distracción.
Ujú.
El conocimiento conceptual e intelectual me distrae del conocimiento directo de la verdad, que es el conocimiento de mí mismo, no el conocimiento de algo, de mí mismo. Y ya no hace falta otro conocimiento, porque ¿de dónde viene todo conocimiento? De uno mismo. Si yo necesito saber algo, lo voy a saber, y si no lo necesito, obviamente no tengo que porque estar buscando nada. Saber algo. Si algo tiene que suceder, sucederá, así como lo que tiene que ser ya está haciendo. ¿Dónde está el esfuerzo? Ninguno. Está aquí sucediendo de manera espontánea, ¿no? No hay creación, sino manifestación espontánea. Y eso considerando la manifestación ¿sí? Como segunda entidad. De lo contrario, no hay ni manifestación, ni sucediendo nada, ni nada, porque el buscador va madurando.
Mm, cierto.
Va soltando todo hasta que dice, soltarlo todo tampoco me sirve, tengo que soltarme a mí mismo. Tengo que
Ujú.
soltar esta idea de mí mismo.
Tal como lo dices y tal como lo siento, es como que es despojarse de todo lo que, o sea, me cubre, o sea, de toda vestimenta, de todo lo que vestimenta puede implicar, ¿no? O sea,
No, tengo que entregar esa idea de mí mismo.
ujú,
Ya yo soy el cuerpo. Yo entrego esa idea, o me deshago de esa idea, me deshago de todo lo demás automáticamente porque todo lo demás es un agregado a esa idea. Toda otra idea es agregada o un agregado a la idea yo soy el cuerpo, ¿sí? La raíz, ¿m? Y el agregado es tallo, las ramas, las hojas. ¿M?
ujú,
Todo esto son ideas, ¿verdad? Mira qué cantidad hay.
ujú.
Y todas son la misma raíz, es una cosa, no son dos, no hay muchos pensamientos. Todos estos pensamientos son la misma mente que es la raíz. ¿M? Todas las tendencias son la misma tendencia a identificarse con el cuerpo. Todas las tendencias están basadas en identificación con el cuerpo. ¿Sí? Todos los impulsos por conocer algo, por experimentar algo, por probar algo, ver algo, todo está basado en la idea del yo soy el cuerpo que quiere experimentar esto, ¿sí? Que quiere tener esta experiencia.
Quizás en la tarde, si hay una oportunidad, solo quiero dejarlo un poco grabado a mí mismo, es, vengo observando cómo hay manifestaciones en el cuerpo que se están dando desde hace un buen tiempo, pero por X motivos, ese dolor que este cuerpo o el cuerpo ha venido manifestando por cerca de 20 años, ha- han empezado como, por decir, las vértebras a ponerse en un cierto alineamiento, ¿no? Pero también hay otras cosas que todavía no están, o sea, las estoy viendo, quizás están muy entrampadas, ¿no? Enraizadas, ¿no? Y por eso es de que, o sea, puede todavía tomar un tiempo empezar a mover las raíces y empezar a hacer sin que yo lo esté haciendo, ¿no? Entonces lo dejo ahí porque para mí es algo que he dejado de hacer las preguntas del por qué, cómo, cuándo, dónde, por qué a mí, ¿no? Sino simplemente estar ahí, ¿no? Y aceptar el menú, ¿no? O sea, es lo que es, pero sin determinismo, simplemente, ¿no? Creo que hasta hay una expresión que dice que sea como es, ¿no? Y después hay otra que dice el entusiasta aceptar de no desear, porque
Sí,
tú has dicho que el deseo es el obstáculo.
sí, la disolución del ego, o sea, no en todos los casos, pero es posible que traiga una especie de recuperación física, puede que traiga la normalidad, y si no lo trae por completo, lo alivia, es posible.
Ujú. Sí, sí, porque no hay deseo. Y antes tenía el deseo, yo era el hacedor, ¿no? Y me movía hacia esto, hacia lo otro, a ver qué más, por dónde, para qué, para acá, ¿no? Y tú has dicho, bueno, hagan lo que esté a su alcance y sea posible de acuerdo a sus realidades, ¿no? Y eso es todo. Te agradezco porque ya son más de las 3, o en este caso las 4, ¿no? Y tú tienes que salir.
Sí, y quedaron dos preguntas pendientes por el chat. Una de Mauricio, la respondo esta noche, y la de Manuel, que dice la autoindagación. Atma Vichara, puede salir mucho material de la subconsciencia, correcto. Entiendo que es un error ver ese material con masa psicológica e intentar luego hacer algo para mejorar, perfeccionar, etcétera. Correcto. La personalidad, correcto. Supongo que este intento, más que nada, refuerza todo ello, correcto. Rompe el quedarse quieto, que es la finalidad de la autoindagación, correcto.
César, gracias. Yo me despido. Buenas tardes.
Nos vemos a la noche. See you tonight. Okay.
See you tonight.